In a small village at the foot of a mountain lived a young man named Kaito. Like many, Kaito was tirelessly searching for a purpose, a reason for his existence. He spent his days feeling insignificant, convinced that his life had no real value. He was often heard to mutter, "How can I discover my true worth?" One day, he heard about an ancient Zen master who lived on top of the mountain, known for his deep inner wisdom. Kaito decided to embark on the long and arduous journey to find him, hoping the master could show him the path to self-esteem and personal growth. Upon reaching the summit, he found the master seated in meditation by a waterfall. The old man opened his eyes and offered a serene smile. "I know what you are looking for, young man," he said, "but the path is not as direct as you think." The master asked Kaito to sit silently beside him, not to meditate, but to observe. He pointed to a rock in the middle of the river. "That rock," the old man said, "has been beaten by the water ceaselessly for centuries. Do you think it has lost its essence, its value, from the constant pounding of the river?" Kaito looked at the rock, which seemed unchangeable. "No, master," he replied. "The rock is still a rock. Its nature has not changed." The master nodded. "That's right. The river may polish its surface, but its inner core, its true nature, remains intact. The world, with its judgments and expectations, is like that river. It hits you, it shapes you, and sometimes it makes you doubt yourself. But your value is not in what others see, but in what you are inside." Kaito fell silent, reflecting on the master's words. The sun was beginning to set behind the mountain, coloring the sky in oranges and purples. He realized that the answer to his question was not in a distant place, but in his own perception of himself. At sunrise, the master handed Kaito a small, simple, unadorned clay pot. "Take it to the village," he instructed him, "and ask how much they would give for it." Kaito was puzzled. "Is that all, master?" "That's all," the old man replied. "But don't sell it. Return and tell me what you have discovered." Kaito descended the mountain, holding the pot carefully. It was so common, he thought, that no one would offer much for it. First, he showed it to a merchant. The man examined it with disinterest and offered 1 coin for its usefulness. "It's a simple clay pot," he said. "It's barely worth more." Discouraged, Kaito continued on his way. Next, he showed it to a potter. She held it delicately, feeling the texture and weight. "The craftsman who made this had good hands. Its value is not in its beauty, but in the effort and soul he put into it. I will give you 5 coins, young man, if you sell it to me." Kaito shook his head and left, more confused than before. The value of the pot seemed to change with each person who looked at it. Finally, Kaito encountered a wise old man, a well-known collector of antiquities. The man, with eyes almost closed with age, asked to see the pot. Kaito, with little hope left, handed it to him. The old man took it with both hands, weighed it, and looked at it carefully from all angles. His fingers caressed the rough clay. "This pot," he said with a voice trembling with emotion, "is a masterpiece from the Qin dynasty period. Its simplicity hides an ancient craftsmanship. It is a unique, invaluable piece." The old man took out a silk bag and opened it, showing a dozen gold coins. "I offer you this and more if you agree to sell it to me." Kaito, astonished, remembered the master's words. The same pot, a worthless piece to a merchant, was an invaluable relic to a collector. He refused to sell it, thanked the old man, and returned to the mountain with his heart pounding. He understood that the value of the pot did not depend on the pot itself, but on the perspective of the one looking at it. Kaito returned to the mountaintop, where the master was waiting with a smile. He told him what had happened, how the merchant had seen only an ordinary object, how the potter had valued the craftsman's skill, and how the collector had recognized a historical masterpiece in it. "Master," Kaito exclaimed, "I understand now. The pot's value didn't change, but its perception did. Its worth didn't depend on the pot itself, but on the eye of the beholder. The world gave the pot a different value based on its own knowledge, need, and appreciation." The master nodded, his gaze fixed on Kaito. "That's right," he said softly. "And that very same truth, Kaito, is the one you have refused to apply to yourself. You, just like that pot, are a unique creation, forged with a history, skills, and an essence that no one else possesses. But you have allowed the merchants of the world, with their superficial judgments, to convince you that your worth is scarce." The master stood up and placed a hand on Kaito's shoulder. "Your worth is not in the number of coins someone offers you, nor in the appreciation of a collector. Your true value is within you, in your heart, in your intention, in the spirit that makes you who you are. You are the one who must recognize your own history, your own essence." He then handed Kaito a polished metal mirror. "Look," the master said. "This mirror only reflects light. It has no value in itself, but without it, you would not see your own reflection. What the mirror shows you is not your value, but your being. Do not seek your value in the reflection, but in what is behind it." Kaito looked into the mirror. For the first time in a long time, he did not see an insignificant young man. He saw a man who had climbed a mountain, who had learned a profound lesson, and who was willing to see the world and himself in a new way. His face filled with a peace and certainty he had never felt before. Kaito said goodbye to the master, his heart lighter than ever before. He no longer felt the heavy burden of insignificance. He descended the mountain not seeking an answer, but carrying it with him. The world he had left behind had not changed, but he had. Back in his village, he came across a small child who was crying inconsolably. His toy, a simple wooden figure, had broken. Kaito knelt down beside him. Instead of offering money to buy a new one, he took the pieces of the broken toy and, with the skill he had always possessed but never valued, he joined them together again, carving the edges so they fit perfectly. The child stopped crying and, with a radiant smile, hugged the repaired toy. To him, that simple act of kindness from Kaito was more valuable than any new object. In that moment, Kaito didn't seek a thank you or a reward. He simply felt fulfilled. He realized that his true value was not in what he believed himself to be, but in what he did for others without expecting anything in return. His worth lay in his own essence, in the kindness of his heart and the skill of his hands. He had found it, not on a distant mountain, but within himself. From that day on, Kaito's life was completely transformed. He no longer sought validation from others or measured himself against the standards of the world. His purpose was not to accumulate wealth or recognition, but to live with authenticity, sharing his kindness and skills with everyone who crossed his path. He became the village potter, and although his pots were not as ancient as the collector's, each one carried the seal of his heart and the care of his hands. People bought them not just for their usefulness, but for the spirit they felt in each piece. Kaito had become a master of his own path. The value of the pot, the value of the rock, and the value of his reflection in the mirror had all merged into a single truth. Discovering your true worth is not about finding a hidden treasure, but about recognizing the treasure that has always been within you. And by recognizing it, life flourishes.